speedrunning. It's a concept as old as gaming itself. You start up a game just like any other person would, and then you push it to its limit, pulling out all the stops, such as glitches and well-timed inputs to do what few people have tried and even less have achieved. There's nothing like a race to push a record to its max with a well-crafted community. But what happens when a game gets played so much and it can only get pushed so far? These are my top 5 unattainable world records in speedrunning. The original Mario Bros, released for the NES in 1985, has stood as an icon of gaming for decades. With this being the classic that launched the Mario series, it's no wonder that this had become a speedrunning hit, with its any percent category having a total of 1,681 runs, 1,765 if you include the PAL runs. Nowadays, a lot of games are digital, but a lot of older games come with glitches. Lots of glitches, because there was no patch or update that they could add to remedy the problem. And this concept is absolutely abused by these runners. This game requires a lot of frame-perfect inputs, and a lot of skill in order to achieve a world record. The current world record is held by Nifsky at 4 minutes, 54 seconds, and 565 milliseconds. This was garnered only a month ago, as of the filming of this video, after getting a third of a second over the old world record held by Tree_05. And this record is only a third second behind the TAS for this run. A TAS is a theoretical best run of a game, using a tool-assisted speedrun, using frame-by-frame inputs in order to create what a perfect run would look like. But forget world record, just to get a 5-minute run in this game would take a lot of grinding. The current holder of a 5-minute run is B-Dog, and is in 437th place. About a third of the people on this leaderboard have broken the 5-minute mark, and are all fighting for frames if they want any chance of succeeding one another.
Oh my god! Yes! Yes!
Refunct. Very similar to Mario, Refunct is a platformer, where you step on buttons to reveal landscapes buried among the ocean that you were spawned upon. Unlike Mario, this game is in 3D, and you don't have any enemies to set you back. This is a very simple game where you step on one button and then get to the next button. Once you have clicked all the buttons, a final gold button will reveal itself, and just like that, you will have completed Refunct. Just a casual playthrough of this game might take you about 5 minutes, making the barrier for entry to speedrun this game extremely low, making the barrier for a world record in this game extremely close. However, since it is such a simple game, it has a little over 1,600 runs in its any percent category. The world record is a 2 minute and 40 seconds with 890 milliseconds held by Smythe, and it's only 600 milliseconds faster than the former held by Nerd Gaming 68. This run is so optimized that almost 1,000 of the 1,600 runners have broken the 3-minute barrier, and is another example of every frame counting. Celeste is the next game I wanted to talk about, with 5,819 runs in its any percent category. This game has such a varying skill set, there are many speedruns going over an hour, with the world record being only 24 minutes, held by Secure Account. And despite that, there's still a 35-second gap between them and the second best player in the category. In my opinion, this is a very beginner-friendly game, and if you're interested in it, I highly advise you trying to speedrun it. It's just that this game is so optimized, it might take years of grinding before getting a world record in it. There's a lot of movement that you've got to master, as well as some wall skips that are quite hard to achieve. Not to mention, any death is gonna set you back. Celeste is a beautiful game, and while I do see some improvement available for this world record, I think it's gonna be a long time before it's achieved. Super Mario Bros. 64. Yes, another game in the Super Mario franchise. Being the first 3D Mario game catapulted this game's popularity. Something unique about the Super Mario Bros. Category is how long it is. Its 120-star runs take over an hour at least, with the world record being timed at 1 hour, 35 minutes, and 28 seconds. Held by Sweegie, who not only holds this record, but also holds the 70, 16, 1, and 0 star world record for the Nintendo 64. There are 47,742 runs in these categories. If you were to watch all these runs, it would take you over 4 years. And some of these runs still on the top 100 were recorded over 10 years ago. But because there's so much time in this game, there's so many tricks that go into it. There's tricks for beginners, tricks for intermediate players, and tricks for the world record holders. Just learning some of these harder strategies could take days. And that's in an hour and 30-minute long speedrun at best. It's an extremely hard barrier for entry when making it to world record, while the beginner runs are a lot more user-friendly. For example, when running the 70-star category, a beginner might first go to Bomb on Battlefield and get the star from the chain chomp, and then better player might also go to Bomb on Battlefield and do what's called Island Hop. All these strategies are faster than just playing the game casually, with varying difficulty and even better time save for each technique. And there's also so many things that could set you back or kill a run at the top level. A death is essentially game over, or if you're unable to hit a trick the right way, you might have to restart that trick. And that's some time lost right there. And while at the top level there is definitely a lot more leniency, being that it's such a long run that Sweegie and the next run by Ouija are over 30 seconds apart. However, with all this being said, I still think it would take a lot of practice to be able to compete with these runners.
Dude. Oh my god, I did it again! I did it again! Oh my god!
Minecraft Java Edition is the last one I want to talk about, and it's any percent glitchless random seed category. Unlike the other games we talked about, Minecraft is extremely unique in the way that, well, it's not a platformer, it's a sandbox game. And the problem with most of the other runs were just the amount of runners, and how high the skill ceiling was with these top players. Again, these players have a lot of skill. The ones that are playing the game, they move incredibly fast. They use their F3 menu like it's second nature. And they've got incredible consistency when it comes to bed placements against the Ender Dragons. But their runs wouldn't even make it that far if not for good RNG. Your first luck-based encounter with a Minecraft speedrun is just the world. If you don't spawn into a good world with a buried chest, your run might not go that far. The current world record by Drip120 finds an underwater chest in less than 15 seconds. Now, once you get lucky enough to find that underwater chest, you have to get lucky enough for it to have the right resources for you. Some resources in this chest that you might need are iron or diamonds or even TNT. You can use this TNT to quickly gather wood from trees, which you also need to spawn nearby if you're going to need wood. Then in order to build your nether portal, you're going to need lava. So you better hope you spawn by lava, and if you're on the ocean, you better have enough wood to use a boat and find some. Using the iron and the diamonds, you can build a nether portal with your bucket, spade, and pickaxe. Once in the nether, you want to spawn near a bastion. Inside this bastion are gold blocks that could be quickly mined with TNT if you had enough in your buried chest. Using this gold, you could sell with the piglins, where you'll have a random chance to get ender pearls. Also, when trading with the piglins, you're going to want to get string as well, which is also a random drop chance. Using this string, you can make beds which will be used to kill the Ender Dragon, the final boss of the game. Once you get a total of at least 12 Ender Pearls, you can make your way up to a nether fortress where you can gather some blaze rods from the blazes, which have a random chance of dropping blaze rods. After getting enough blaze rods for your Eyes of Ender, you want to go back to the overworld and use one in order to locate your stronghold. Now, there are ways to quickly travel to your stronghold. Each block in the nether is equal to 8 blocks in the overworld, so many runners traverse the nether in order to find their stronghold. The stronghold can be 1,000 blocks away to 1 block away. It's all based on chance. Once you go through the end portal, you have to make your way up to the dragon. Depending on how close you are, you'll get there faster than other people. But that's, again, all random. You get where I'm going with this? Finally, you better hope you have enough beds or you're really good at placing them, because if you place them at just the right time, they'll explode, dealing immense amounts of damage onto the Ender Dragon, killing him. And after standing in the portal and being sent back to the overworld, you've beaten the game. This is the reason that the current world record has stood for a year. because it's just so difficult to beat it. You have to get as lucky as they did, and every world is unique. I'm not saying it's not possible, it just might not be worth your time. I should mention, I don't think that you shouldn't speedrun these games. Do whatever you have the most fun doing. I just think that if you're looking for the world record in these games, you're gonna need a lot of time, and you're gonna need to go really fast. Well, those are the top 5 games I think a world record is most unlikely in. Unless you already are a top runner, it's gonna take you a lot of time in order to grind these games down. I hope you enjoyed this video, and if you did, please leave a like and subscribe. Take care.